Welcome back. Welcome back. Episode 4 of the Rolling Commerce Podcast. I'm your host, Mark the Mentor. Catch me here every Thursday night, sometime between 7:15, 7:15. Come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on in. We got some stuff we want to talk about, or I want to talk about tonight. Not gonna hold y'all long. I've been aggressively getting these live streams down to around the 2 hour mark, so I want to keep it there. So come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you're checking in from. Also, one word. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you are feeling tonight with one word. If the stream freezes, I'm just gonna talk through it tonight. I don't know why every Thursday night it only happens on Thursday nights, so I don't know. Maybe it's the no, I'm gonna have to get with Comcast Xfinity and complain why every Thursday night the stream freezes with all the money I'm paying y'all. So come on in, hit that like button. What's going on? What's going on? Let me know in one word how you feeling tonight. I see Philly in the building. What's going on? Jarrell is in the building. Jarrell, I appreciate you coming on last night. Dallas in the building, Atlanta in the building, Houston, Texas in the building, South Louisiana is in the building, Texas is in the building. That last intro is so damn fire. I appreciate that. What up? Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. Dallas, Texas is in the building. Mark, what's happening, brother? LL, what's going on? Philly in the building. Shout out to Natasha is in the building as always. Interstate Screw in the building, feeling excited. No, Interstate Screw saying he a D-boy. Ronald Lee Walker Jr. is feeling excited. Kelvin is blessed. Jarrell is encouraged. Interstate Screw is great. Kelvin is focused. All right, so man, come on in, hit that like button. Thursday night, been a good week. Well, the week started off for me. I was sick. For those that watched the earlier live streams this week, I did a pop-up live stream Sunday, which was I watched the replay on that Sunday live stream where I talked about can you afford to run your box truck business or something like that. I think something like that was the title. Out of all the live streams I've done, that had to be top 3. That was my flu game because I was sick, but I was cooking on that live stream. I was cooking, for that whole 2 hours and 49 minutes, I was cooking. I was sick, but I was cooking on that live stream. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that live stream from Sunday, where I talked about, can you afford to run your box truck business, I think that's something you should go check out because I pretty much cracked the code why a lot of people rob from the sustainability of their business. And ultimately you got to make a decision. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I think you should go watch that live stream. Shout out to Jarrell for his testimonial last night. I hate to rank them, but I think that probably you outdid yourself on that one last night. It was very inspiring, even to a person like me who has, tenure in the space. Just to see, what you went through and to come out in 2021 and it only being 2023 and look at everything that you've accomplished. And, I talk to people all the time that are in the same, field as you in this box truck field that, are, are met with challenges as well. But, you've overcome a lot of obstacles and you keep pushing. So, we were talking about you. I was talking about you earlier. I've talked about you a couple of times. I won't say a lot, but quite a few amount of people, reached out to me today in regards to that testimonial last night. Not just subscribers, but, people that I know personally here, in Chicago, female friends, homies that, watch the channel, that watch the replay or were watching live, and, everyone, Kirk, I talked to Kirk earlier, that was, a really good testimonial. And man, keep up the good work, man. Keep up the good work. So come on in, come on in. Kevin says, "Are you feeling better?" Yes, I'm feeling better. My nose, I think I got a little rash inside of my nose from blowing my nose earlier this week. I was blowing it really, really, really hard. So one of my nostrils is like a little rash or whatever, or something. I don't know. But I think I broke the skin from blowing the nose. But other than that, I feel a lot better. But I appreciate you asking. 5 Star said, "I think whatever you had in that OJ, you was cooking. And that OJ had you cooking." Now, it wasn't nothing in the OJ but OJ. Back when my grandmama was alive, when I would catch a cold, she would throw some, about a cap full of some Granddaddy 100 proof Granddaddy. That'll burn your chest, open up your chest. But it was just orange juice. I had been sleeping off and on all day. And I know Kirk was live, and he had went off, and he was like, "Man, you should go live." I'm like, "Man, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock." He's like, "Go live, go live." So I went live, and yeah, I was up, so my brain was just fresh. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when I get on these live streams at night, my brain is a little fatigued from using it all day, and y'all see, sometimes I get caught up, and I'm trying to figure out what words to use and things like that. I get a mind fart, but when you first wake up, fresh waking up from a nap, my brain was just, it was, man, go watch that live, y'all. Go watch that live. It was probably one of my better ones. I agree, Mark. You was like Michael Jordan on the flu game versus the Jazz when you was sick like that. I agree. That was the best point. Yeah, it was a good live, man. I appreciate that, brother. I'm in Chicago right now. Oh man, you should have hit me up earlier, man. I'd have took you out to lunch. You know what I'm saying? Next time you come through the city, man, I owe you a dinner, man. It's the least I could do for you coming on and sharing your testimonial last night. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So yeah, it was a good testimonial. It's been a good week. Tonight I want to talk about characteristics of a good box truck business owner. And I mean, these are characteristics that you could pretty much use for any business. Like I said, I base my content based around things that I see, that I know I could bring to the channel, so people can take this information and implement it. I try to, build my content, focusing on the box truck business, but also, you know, teaching business as well. You know what I'm saying? When you're starting a business, a box truck business, the box truck business is one thing, but you still need knowledge of business in general. It takes years and years to really get a full grasp and an understanding of, you know, overall business. So I like to implement some of that into the content. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna I like the format that I used the other day, where I kind of use myself as an example when I present the content. So I'll use, myself, my experiences. And I might not just always use my box truck business. I might start incorporating other businesses that I have entered into, whether they were successful or not. And I'll also incorporate, content creation business as well. All right, so let's get straight into it real quick, because I don't want to hold y'all. The world of business is dynamic, constantly evolving, and highly competitive. Amidst this backdrop, the attributes that define a good businessman or businesswoman — I should have put woman in there because you know how women like to come on my channel and send me DMs and beat me up, even though only 9% of my subscribers are women. So excuse me, women, I should have put businessmen and businesswomen. Go beyond mere financial success. Successful business person is a combination of strategic thinking, which is something I always talk about, interpersonal skills, people skills, all right, resilience, and adaptability. All right, something else that we always talk about. All right, so let's delve into these characteristics that collectively create the foundation of business excellence. Shout out to R. Terry for that super chat. Shout out to R. Terry for that super chat. Hold on, I gotta let them coins drop. Thank you for the information, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate that super chat. All right, let's get back to it. Boom. All right, first characteristic, visionary thinking. All right, visionary thinking. One of the hallmarks of a successful business person is visionary thinking, being a visionary, the ability to see beyond the present moment and envision new opportunities, markets, and solutions is what sets entrepreneurs apart. Visionary thinkers dare to challenge conventions, identify trends, and predict future needs. This capacity to anticipate and prepare for change is instrumental in building sustainable and innovative businesses. I think y'all know what example I'm going to use for this. Good old peak season. All right. It is very important as an entrepreneur, as a business person, to be a visionary thinker. All right. You know, you want to live in the present, but you mentally want to be ahead. I always say I'm 6 months ahead. Tomorrow is September 1st. So I'm celebrating mentally in my head. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's St. Patrick's Day 2024. I've already celebrated Christmas mentally. I've already celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday. I've already celebrated Valentine's Day, President's Day. Mentally in my head, it's St. Patrick's Day 2024 because I'm ahead. I'm preparing. I'm mentally preparing for the future. I don't want to live in the moment as a business person. I want to look ahead and kind of see what's coming. I want to formulate an opinion based on what's going on so that I can be ahead. All right. Hate to beat a dead horse, but around this time last year, I did my first peak season forecast video. What does Kirk say? History is best qualified when it's documented. The videos are still up. You can go look at the date. I followed up 2 weeks later, second week of September, with my second one. And I told people what my forecasts were. I got laughed at. I got scorned. Other content creators that still are, that's not, it's some that still are making content. People were asking them questions. What would happen was I was still kind of new on the scene, so people would take my content videos. It would kind of spark an interest in people, and then they would take my content and then they would take it to another content creator in their live streams and ask them questions based on my content for validity. And I was lurking, and I would see what said content creator was saying, how he would respond. But at the end of the day, I ended up having the last laugh. And it's unfortunate, but me being a visionary thinker, as far as an entrepreneur, that's my job. I don't want to be the one that gets left holding the bag. It's very important. That way you can always stay ahead of the curve. Always. Peak season is coming up now. So each and every one of you, no matter if you're doing Amazon, you're doing middle mile, you're doing final mile, you need to be prepping, understanding, following the formula that I gave you guys last year, because I'm not going to repeat it this year. And the reason why I'm not going to talk about peak season too much this year is because it's been brought to my attention that, people have been stealing content. I know Kirk went on a whole rant yesterday. I've seen tidbits of my content being used. I've seen people, watch my content and then formulate content based around the direction that my content is going. Like, I'm not a stupid individual. I'm very, very smart. I'm highly intelligent. I'm very, very smart. So I see certain things. Certain things don't really bother me, but I see it. So this year, I don't want to be the person that puts out the information now that, I've been here a year and a half. Everything that I forecasted has all come to pass. So I'm credible now. And other content creators know that I'm credible, right? So, I don't want to be the person that puts out content and they take it and package and present it to their audiences as if they're the ones that know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do is for peak season, I have my own platform and I'm gonna do, members only Sunday group sessions for members on my website. I can live stream on my website. I don't have to stream on YouTube, and the people that can come on my website, and then I'll talk about peak season and I'll give you my forecast on peak season over there. I'm not going to do it on a public platform. I know people are waiting for me. People have been asking me, but unfortunately, um, you know, my experience and my ability to read charts and understanding the industry and market trends, it's not something that I would take lightly if someone stole my content. It took years of experience to learn this. My OG said, listen, and when I say this shit, I really mean this shit. Like, I didn't get no financial aid, none of that. My mother worked hard. She worked after school, so she taught a regular class, then she worked after school, and she worked summer school to put me through college. So, when I present stuff that come from education, a mix of education and some from real life experience of being in business, I take that shit seriously. I don't, you know, taking by people's content and then, that shit ain't cool, bro. That shit ain't cool. So that particular content, I'm gonna do that somewhere else. But you want to be a visionary thinker. I think being a visionary thinker allowed me to transcend in the moving industry and in the final mile industry because I was met with challenges. Um, and because I was always uh, thinking ahead when these challenges uh, met me, I already had a game plan on how to transition. My mama always told me, always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Don't never get caught left holding the bag. So I went through life, just not business, life in general, relationships, business, everything. I always hope for the best, but I always got some stashed in the kitty just in case. You dig what I'm saying? So be a visionary thinker. Don't just live in the moment. Don't just live in the moment. Always be thinking ahead, researching. Listen to what's going on. You don't want to be one of those guys like last year when December came that had, was waiting and, it's been tough. It's been getting tough. Gas and got high, but that's all right. Peak season coming. We finna run it up like we ran it up in 2020, 21. It's going to be $10 a mile. It was people going out of business, turning their trucks in December 3rd, December 5th, December 10th. Well, it's peak season. Christmas 2 weeks away. You got content creators making sad videos talking about it's trash, turning their truck in December. Christmas 2 weeks away. But these are the people that were pushing, people to wait and hold on for peak season. You know what I'm saying? Weren't visionary thinkers. Didn't know how to read the charts, didn't educate themselves on the industry that they're in. What do I always say about business? Don't invest into something that you don't understand. People invest in the things that they understand and they don't take their free time and as much time that they have available to continue to educate themselves on the business that they're in. You rather go scroll on Instagram and look at the fat booty chicks. And that's cool. I scroll on Instagram too and look at the fat booty chicks from time to time. But guess what? That's not the first thing I do when I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm seeing what news has already come out for business. That's the first thing that I do. What moves do I need to make? What business news has come out? The market opens at 8:30. Do I need to move? Do I need to prepare? Do I need to take something? Sell something? So you want to be a visionary thinker, man. All right. All right, let's get to the next one. Shout out to everybody that's coming on in. Strategic mindset. All right, you want to have a strategic mindset. Strategic thinking is similar to a compass that guides a business person through the maze of decisions and opportunities. A successful business person carefully analyzes market trends, competitive landscapes, consumer behavior, something I always talk about, to formulate well-informed strategies. The ability to set clear objectives, allocate resources effectively, and pivot when necessary is pivotal to achieving long-term success. Similar to what we just talked about, we're going to break it down though sentence by sentence. Most of my content started becoming strategy-based content around November of last year when I saw that a lot of people were struggling. You know what I'm saying? My coaching sessions are strategy-based. What do I always say? If it's Googleable, I made that word up, Googleable, don't book no coaching session with me. If it's Googleable, don't come to me. Don't come to me. Please, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste my time. I don't want to talk about things that are Googleable. When I do coaching sessions, I want to do strategy-based. I want to hear what your problem is, and I want to help you solve your problem. I want to problem solve your problem because it's a mental exercise for me. I still want to challenge myself. I don't want you to book a coaching session with me for something that you can go and find on your own. It's 2023. You got Google. It's a technology highway. Use it. I always talk about, saving money. A big part of the live stream Sunday was cutting costs. You're paying money for something that you have access to. If you have a phone, you have access to information. If it's information that you can Google, save your money and Google it. Do the work. Do the research. Come to me for strategy. Use me for my experience and my tenure. Don't use a 14-year guy for Googleable stuff. Use your money the right way. All right? Strategic thinking is similar to a compass that guides a business person through a maze of decisions and opportunities. A successful business person carefully analyzes market trends. Market trends. Sort of like peak season last year. If you watched that content last year, I told you how I was able to formulate my forecast on that it wasn't going to be a peak season. Market trends, let's say in content creation. When I see certain trends, I talk about it all the time. That's how I formulate my content. I formulate my content based on whatever the trends are. And then I build content around it. When everybody was saying that the industry was trash, what did I do? I formulated content opposing what people were saying. And then guess what? Content creators bit that because content creators were in the same boat with the consumers. When I say consumers, as far as content creation, I'm referring to subscribers, viewers, saying that the industry was trash. Nobody had a solution. Mark came with a solution. I started becoming a solution-based channel around October, November of last year. I started talking about curbside. I started talking about different gig opportunities. I gave people solutions to supplement their income so that they ultimately wouldn't fail and lose their business. See, when I come, I don't give you everything. I got a lot of years of experience. I got so much content for years. And this is ultimately why people, take tidbits. I know I saw Kirk go on his little rant yesterday. He does something that's specific, like partials is specific. And I guess it takes, to me, it's simple. Partials is simple to me. I don't understand why people don't get it. But with me running Final Mile, I don't really have that many people competing in the space for Final Mile. But where I see people take snippets of my content and try to put it into theirs, or they see what direction that I'm taking my content and they build their content around my direction, I see that. So when I see people saying one thing like, okay, the industry is trash, my strategic mindset is it's not trash. I'm going to tell you it's not trash. You're trash. That's why I did a live stream. No, the box truck business is trash. Maybe it's you. And you could take that any type of way. Maybe it's you, meaning the box truck business is not trash. Maybe it's you, meaning maybe it's you. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Or you could take it, maybe it's you, that you're trash. It was done like that purposely. And then what do? I strategize and I show you how it's not trash and how it is you. And I support everything that I'm saying with facts. And I cite my sources. It was content creators that are still active that was saying, oh, stop taking cheap freight, y'all. So what did I do? I saw the trend of everybody saying, stop taking cheap freight, stop taking cheap freight. So I started pushing content saying, man, why do y'all keep saying stop taking cheap freight? That's goofy shit. Stop saying that dumb shit. I got videos where I say stop saying that dumb shit. And I put that content out. I start pushing that strategy. And I showed why that when you say that, it sounds stupid. First, I came from an angle where, okay, and I'm just giving you an example of strategy on how I present content so you can understand what a strategic mindset. All right, everybody's saying stop taking cheap freight, but I know that's the stupidest shit a person can say, and everybody keeps saying it because they don't understand how the spot market works or why it's in place to begin with. So when I say, you know what, I start with something easy. Look, you know, your cost is not this person's cost. If you have a high initial cost, this person's cost may not be that high. You're telling the person not to take X amount per mile, but maybe this person can afford to run it at that mile and still be profitable. You may not be able to run it at that mile and be profitable because your initial cost. Or maybe this person is running it just to break even to get home or just to make some money. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody that's running at certain dollar amounts are doing it, you know, ignorantly. There's some people that have really low initial costs. They may have been in the space for a while. Their truck may be paid for. They maybe be in the space for a while and they're older and their truck is paid for. So they may have a lot of variables that are working in their favor that their cost per mile is a lot lower than yours. If you're 25 years old getting into the space and you went out and you bought a 2017 truck and you're paying $1,800 a month for your truck note and another $1,800 a month for insurance, and you're new and only TQL is messing with you, and then let's say old Marky Mark has been running middle mile since 2010. He's 43. His truck is a 07. His insurance is cheap. He has no truck note. What did I talk about Sunday? Living expenses. Mark ain't got no family, ain't got no wife, I ain't got no kids. I got a lot of other variable expenses, lifestyle that I could take cheaper because it's only just me. So not only are my truck expenses low because of my time in the business, right? But also I have less living expenses because I only have to support one person. So when you say stuff like this, it's ignorant. So I started presenting strategy, started presenting content, and then some people stop. But then some people said, then some people challenged me. So then what? I came back with another strategy and presented more content on why it sounds stupid when you say that. Start talking about supply and demand. This is why the spot market has taken a turn from last year. Won a few more people over, they stopped saying it. Then what? Recently, a few weeks ago, I finally put the nail in the coffin. Let's go back to 1980. Jimmy Carter, the deregulation of trucking. This is how the spot market was created. Because prior to 1980, trucking was regulated. Why was trucking deregulated? To create competition. Trucking was deregulated purposely to create competition, to drive down rates, to ultimately drive down the prices in the store for the consumers. And then when I presented that live stream, I had supporting facts in the form of a news documentary to support my presentation, and I cited my source. And I haven't heard a mumbling word since. The whole spot market was created to create competition, to drive down rates. Creating competition is going to always drive down rates. That's the purpose of it. People bidding on loads. I can bid cheaper than you. Big box retail has thrived because of the spot market. So strategy. A good business person, no matter what industry you're in, you have to be a strategic thinker, especially if you're in a competitive industry. Trucking, content creation. I'm not really competing with nobody over here. Not in final mile and moving, because a lot of cats ain't built like that. But, some people try to take pieces of my, my strategies and my economic analysis and things like that and try to formulate it and input it in, and then they sound crazy. Because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because they don't have the experience that I have or the education that I have. So analyzing market trends, that's something that I talked about in the previous slide. Let's say for like peak season. I'm not going to analyze peak season this year on YouTube. So you're going to have to come over to my website if you want to know what's going on with peak season, because I don't need content creators stealing my information. Competitive landscape, I just kind of talked about that. Consumer behavior. I talk about consumer behavior all the time. Let's talk about that right now. What is the consumer behavior? It's still the same as it was last month. Services are, outweighing goods. There's a whole thing going on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. I think TikTok right now, I'm broke challenge, where everybody's talking about how broke they are and showing their bills and how they can afford groceries and all this goofball stuff, complaining and sitting out in front of their job, crying, talking about how they don't want to go to work. I've been watching these goofy videos all week. That's the thing right now, the I'm broke challenge or cost of living too high challenge, whatever. That's the consumer behavior right there. People are broke. They telling you they broke. Food is high. Everything is high. Rent is high. Interest rates are high. People are telling you. You should be able to formulate your own opinion. You got a whole challenge going on TikTok right now talking about everything too high challenge. Let me see if I can pull this up. What is this? Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on. What's the name of that challenge? Cost of living too high challenge. Is that what it's called? I've been seeing this stuff all week. Where is this? Average American can't afford to live. Cost of living. TikTok challenge. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. But that's the new challenge. So basically people broke. I don't know. So consumer behavior right now is services. People are finding ways to spend money on expensive dinners, trips still, but complain when it comes to rent, their car notes, groceries, necessities, things of that nature. So if you were smart, you can formulate your own opinion. You can kind of see how the trend is going to go going into the fall, ultimately going into the winter around peak season. You know, are people going to spend money? Like I said, yeah, people are going to spend money. But looking at the charts that I've been looking at, I'm going to give you guys another clue. I'm in Chicago, so I'm in the mecca for freight. I've told y'all before, I got homies that drive locally for JB Hunt. I got homies that drive intermodal for other local trucking companies. So I know I get an inside peek on what the rail yards look like, with the inbound, just the terminals in general. They tell me some guys freight is so low that would normally work 5-6 days a week. The company is having to spread the freight out so that everybody can work at least 3 days a week. So they're getting days off. They're having to find other things to do to supplement income. And that's as far as I'm going to take it. And this is August. And if you follow my blueprint of how to forecast peak season for logistics starts in July. Starts in July with one mode of transit, then it goes to another mode, to another mode. All right. If you know how to read charts, you can predict pretty much how it's going to go from the first mode of transit in July and August. Because if you're really smart, you know that most of our consumer goods are imported. So that's a clue, and I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to really go further into detail because I don't need nobody stealing the sauce. All right. So I think that I think we're clear on strategic mindset. All right, let's go on. Effective communication. Business is fundamentally built on relationships, and effective communication is the glue that binds those relationships. Good businessman is adept at articulating ideas, inspiring teams, and persuading. Keyword persuading, and I'm going to talk about that. Stakeholders, and I'm not going to speak from a stakeholder perspective, but remember that word, persuading. Whether it's presenting a business proposal, negotiating a deal, or leading a team, effective communication skills foster trust and collaboration, leading to smoother operations and enhanced outcomes. Being a business owner and moving in final mile, if you watched the show last night, Jarrell talked about the communication, how the communication became kind of flawed between him and his crew. And, I've spoken on challenges in the past that I've had. I know when Rob came on, we spoke about challenges within the company. He kind of gave you guys an insight that I never gave you on how I ran my company. He talked about Stack, my enforcer, and just some other things. Even though I've always had killers on the squad, it would just be sometimes where I would have to finesse a little bit to get people to do certain things. Now, I would never I don't make people do things that I wouldn't do myself. It's been plenty of times I've told people, oh, no, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something that I would do and I need the job done, sometimes I would have to communicate that in a certain type of way with employees or said employee, and I may have to finesse the situation, or you can use the word persuade. Now, that may come with some type of incentive. I may have to incentivize someone to do that, but ultimately, whatever I would need to do to ultimately get the job done so revenue can come back in, so said person or said persons can continue to get paid, cash flow can come into the company, and ultimately I can pay myself, depending on, where the company was at the time, pay myself at all or pay myself an egregious amount of money. I would need to persuade individuals on doing certain things. And that all comes with communication. You have to be able to communicate very well. Sometimes persuading may be a little finesse. Sometimes it may have to be stern. Sometimes it may have to be in a threatening manner. And when I'm saying threatening, I'm not like, man, if you go do this, or I'm finna have phone them ride down, and we don't care who outside. Everybody gotta get it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. But when I say threatening, yo, either do this or find you another job type situation. Rob told y'all, like, I really didn't play no games. At my peak, I didn't play games. One thing he said he learned from me, he said, man, I took a page out your book. People got to acting up. They got to playing around. I play with people money. And when I say play with people money, I'm going to give you a week off to think about it. So once, a person know how I'm coming, like, man, I got to do this because he gonna give me a week off. He gonna give me days off, and I can't afford to take days off. This was at a time period where gig economy wasn't what it was today, and there wasn't a lot of opportunities. People valued their jobs. People don't value their jobs anymore. Back then, the employer had the leverage. Now the employee has the leverage. Because the employee can tell you, go to hell, I ain't doing nothing. Quit, walk out, and go on their phone and can open up one of many apps and instantly go get money. Eight, 9, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, it wasn't like that. So I had all the leverage. If I need you to do something, do something. If you won't do something, I'm going to get somebody else to do something. And when I get them to do something, I'm going to give you a week off to think about what I asked you to do that you didn't want to do that put me in a compromisable situation. And that type of communication wasn't verbal, but it was still communication. Oh, you ain't on the schedule this week. Person can go look at the schedule and not see their name on it. I'm communicating with them without saying words. You messed up. So take a week off to think about it. And the next time I say, man, I need you to go do this one extra move. It's a studio. It's going to be within 2 hours, but I need you to go do this. Y'all right around the corner. Y'all knocked out 3 moves. It's only 5 o'clock. What's the harm of staying out 2 extra hours? It's the 31st. It's the last day of the month. Everybody's moving. This person's movers didn't show up. I'm charging this lady a premium. She's paying an egregious amount of money, which I'm incentivizing you an extra $10 an hour to go do this job. I need it done. Y'all right around the corner. Y'all wrapping up this job. I need you to do it. And it would always be one guy, be a team of 3. 2 guys would be like, man, Mark, whatever. And it'd always be the one guy that want to complain. So a situation like that, being able to communicate in many different ways. And, when you're a business owner, you have to know how to communicate in many different ways. You may have to be finesse it. Sometimes you may have to be stern. Sometimes you may have to be threatening. Sometimes you may have to communicate in silence to get your point across. But communication is key when it comes to employees. Also, when you're dealing in business like trucking, where you're dealing with, like, say, brokers or 3PLs, when you're dealing with, like, operations supervisors, and you're trying to work your way up. Let's speak from final mile perspective. You're in a logistics company. You're trying to get a better route. Communication, expressing interest in a better route. Hey, I've been on this contract for about 6 months now. If any route opens up in the city, let's say, I would be interested in. I've been doing this route. I'm not too fond of this route, but I'm here every morning. I do it. I do whatever I need to do so that I can earn. But hey, I want to express interest in one of these local routes because I do have a little seniority now. And if something comes up, I just want to put my bid in. Closed mouths don't get fed. And then also, being cordial with people. You don't have to kiss ass. But it is good to communicate and express what you're interested in. And that's building a relationship ultimately. Good morning. How you doing today? Not coming in angry because it's 5 in the morning and you got to get up and come to work. Nobody forced you to get up and come to work. You're coming to work because this is what you got to do. You chose to do this. I know the screen froze, but it'll pick back up. I'm just going to keep talking. So don't mind it. You chose to do this. So, communication is a key in many different facets. All right. Let's go on to, how long is it going to be frozen? Hold on. Let's go on to resilience and adaptability. Make sure y'all hit that like button too. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I guess a lot of people don't want to know characteristics of a good business, but I expected the normal somewhere between 75 to 100 people, but I guess people don't really care about this type of stuff, but oh well. Let's talk about resilience and adaptability. The journey of entrepreneurship is rife with uncertainties, and if you don't know what rife means, that means like, widespread with uncertainties and challenges. A successful business person possesses resilience, the ability to weather storms, overcome setbacks, and bounce back stronger. And this is something that a lot of people, I think have gone through this year that are still in the business. And another good example is that of Jarrell from last night. He exemplifies the definition of what resilience is. Matter of fact, he's a great example of the word resilience. Furthermore, adaptability is key in a world of rapid change. Being open to new strategies, willing to pivot when necessary, and learning from failures are qualities that characterize an individual who can navigate the unpredictable waters of business. Jarrell, listening to his story, I don't even have to really even break this down. His story is resilience wrapped up in a nutshell. Being faced with the challenges that he was faced with at 16, getting out 9 years later to a whole new world in the midst of COVID, and figuring it out in less than 2 years, and owns his own truck, his own authority, and is out here running. That's resilience. He didn't let his past hinder him or stop him or affect him from reaching the ultimate goal. He came out, he worked a few jobs, he found moving, he liked that. He worked for a moving company, saw that he could do it on his own, started his own thing, saw early something that I've been, preaching on this channel for the longest. People always ask me, Mark, why did you divest? Mark, why did you divest? I've been completely transparent. No one wants to work. Why would I continue to hold on to a bunch of trucks when I know that no one is going to fulfill them anymore? So if there's an opportunity for me to sell off a depreciating asset during a period where people are buying depreciating assets at 2 to 3 times the amount that they're worth, why wouldn't I divest when I know that sourcing talent is a thing of the past? He came into the moving industry, saw early on that sourcing talent, keeping talent, finding good talent, retaining good talent is difficult. Dealing with the counting pockets thing, to say, man, what can I do where I can make this same type of money but only have to depend on myself? Resilience. Me, for example, challenges that I faced in business. I've had a lot of contracts. A lot of those contracts wasn't just me walking away from them. Some of them we lost by default. Some of them got rid of them because they just didn't like me. But every time I would, let's say, walk away from a contract, or let's say that particular contract, the 3PL lost the contract, so we lost it by default, or let's say I didn't have a good relationship with the branch manager, operations supervisor, that was revenue for a set amount of trucks that no longer was coming in, and I had to source opportunities for those trucks. I had to be resilient. I I remember when Dynamics first lost IKEA, and IKEA was one of my breadwinners. IKEA and Office Depot. What did I do? I started digging. I started researching. Man, who got somebody got it. Found out who had it. Found out that one of the dispatchers in Dynamics had already been poached by Urban Express to come over there. Approached him. Yo, how'd you find out? Man, don't worry about all that, man. I need to get in there. You need somebody that you know is reliable anyway over there with you so you can look good. All right, man, this is the company, Urban Express, boom, boom, boom. Apply here, I'm going to pull you in. We got pulled in. We didn't get pulled in with what we were making at Dynamics. We were making about $75 less. They didn't want to give me a guarantee. I still negotiated a guarantee. It was for about $75 less a route, but I got in there. But me and Chris Alvarez at Dynamics got into it, and ultimately I ended up having to walk away from Office Depot, and then the situation with the other guy, not Rob, where it was a non-compete situation going on. That was 9 vehicles. That was $2,700 a day. 9 vehicles. I didn't mope and cry and complain. I had to go find revenue for those 9 vehicles. When I saw the industry shifting, Amazon was starting to really make a presence as far as like Amazon Prime, when people were ordering things from Amazon back like in 2015, 2016. I started to see freight kind of dry up in certain areas of goods. I had to transition. So what did I do? I started cross-docking. I was resilient and I adapted to change. I didn't fold. I adapted. And that a lot of that had to do with me being a visionary also. Put myself in the best position. Always hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst so that when the worst happened, I would be in a position to transition and adapt. So, you got to be resilient. You got to be adapt. Like a lot of people that say they business owner, they really don't have the oomph. Like to be a business owner, you got to have an oomph. You got to be a dog. You can't wimp and cower out. Like last winter, man, all those people, especially the content creators, I don't feel bad for the content creators that made these sad ass videos last November and December, because these was the people that was selling people the dream about the box truck thing, and they didn't even have the tenure in the space to even be creating content to try to give people information. That's why it was a bunch of misinformation. Then they had to do the walk of shame, turning in their truck. Kirk did a live stream a few weeks ago where he bought up like 3 or 4 of them. They're making a sad video. Oh, it's trash. And no, it's not trash. You just don't know what the hell you doing. It was one particular guy. He was just soft and sweet, soft as hell. Soft. He should have never been in trucking anyway. He was too pretty to be in trucking. Soft as hell. It's trash. The rates are low. I got in the business to make money. You could be making money. You just don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't have resilience. You're not going to sit down, put your head down and try to figure it out. You got in during the pandemic, 2021, when everything was high, including the truck that you got in with, but you didn't realize it because the rates kind of compensated for the high initial cost when you came in, so you really didn't feel it. You came in egregious, the rates were egregious, so it kind of balanced itself out. And there was plenty of freight. So not only did the rates kind of balance out what the initial cost was, there was an overabundance of freight. So people were just running, right? But when things started to correct themselves, people were so ignorant that instead of putting their head down and educating themselves on where they went wrong, they cowered out and started making content, calling the industry trash, boo-hooing to the same people that they sold a dream to and said trucking is the best thing in the world. Get into trucking. No resilience. Couldn't adapt. So you don't even need to be in business anyway. You don't even know how to transition. You don't even know how to put yourself in your own circle and hold yourself accountable for the ill-advised decision you made on investing into a business that you didn't understand. Now, this is probably one of the most important ones. Ethical integrity. And for everybody that follows my channel, y'all know I'm really big on morals, moral compass, ethics. Y'all know I'm big on ethical integrity. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all hear me say already? My name is everything. I don't play about my name. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. In a business landscape often marred by ethical dilemmas, ethical integrity is a cornerstone of a successful business person's character. Upholding a strong moral compass, making ethical decisions, even when they're difficult, and treating all stakeholders fairly contribute not only to a business reputation, but also to its long-term stability. Ethics in business, having a moral compass, right from wrong. I wanna use an example for something because actually this is, I witnessed something a few weeks ago and it didn't set right with me. It didn't set right with me, and I haven't discussed it, but this is a great example of ethical integrity for business. And the only reason I'm going to use this example is because a shot was thrown at me on a particular live stream based around a live stream that I did a few weeks ago where I was, talking about deregulation and how, Jimmy Carter, deregulated trucking to create competition to ultimately drive down consumer rates for goods, right, in stores. And in this live stream, content creators were talking, and one particular gentleman said, I was watching another content creator the other day, and he's talking about the rates of the rate they are because of the government. So the way it was presented, it was like a shot because it was presented as if, I was formulating my opinion on the way the rates are just out of thin air. And anybody that watches my channel knows that when I present content and it's something that's serious, I support what I'm saying with facts. No one has challenged me yet because a lot of my forecasts, well, all of my forecasts up until this point, and I can't never say that I won't ever be wrong. I'm human. I've been right. Right? And I took that as a shot from a person who I know doesn't have the education or the experience as me. I don't feel no type of way about it because that was weeks ago when this live stream went on, and I haven't really, little stuff like that ain't nothing to me, man. That's a little shit to a giant. But something else happened in that live stream that didn't set right with me. And I'm not going to go into the live stream, who it was. If they see it, they know who it is. But hopefully they take this as advice and not take it from a place of like I'm not challenging them or anything, but however you want to take it, take it. But I really is advice. This whole scam thing, as far as mentorships and courses and all this stuff, I seen a live stream where people were complaining. There was a few people in the chat complaining that they were taken advantage of by one of the people. I guess, I don't know. They were taken advantage by someone that was on that panel, right? And the way it was handled was very unethical, all right? It was handled unprofessionally. And watching that, it didn't set right with me. There's been plenty of times people have come into my DM and they're like, man, Mark, I don't have a voice. I was taken advantage of by this person. You got a voice. People will listen to you. You're very smart. You can articulate my grievance probably better than I can because my grievance is going on deaf ears. Can you please expose this person? What does Mark always say? Mark don't get into other people's problems. Why? I'm going to tell you why Mark don't get into people's problems. Because if Mark has a problem, and I appreciate my subscribers, but ain't nobody going to help me. And I know it. See, I'm smart enough to know this. If Mark has an issue, I can't go to nobody for help. Mark going to have to deal with his own problems on his own. So I don't get involved in other people's problems. I tell people, don't be a middle American. Don't think like a middle American. Don't get taken advantage of like a middle American. When I say middle American, I don't really mean like somebody that necessarily lives in a rural area, but don't think like a person who lives in middle America in a rural area. Don't be the guy in Vegas on the strip playing 3-card Molly. Use a goofy.
Yo, goof ass. Goofy as hell.
So I don't do it. But this particular situation, I was witnessing it, and by witnessing it, it didn't set right with me. And I'm looking at how it was handled, and the shit was wrong. If someone comes to me on my channel, I don't get this. But the few times where I've been trolled or challenged, let's say the challenges that I had, let's see, Rob challenged me, and then I had Buddy, content creator, come in on that live stream in the chat and was talking crazy in the chat. I did the same thing with both individuals. The first thing I did when a person came in the live talking crazy, what's the first thing I do? I dropped that link. I dropped the link. Why? Because I meet grievances at the door. I'm a real business person. I meet grievances at the door. I don't run. I don't hide. I don't cower. I don't block people. People are in the chat expressing grievances that they've been taken advantage of for money. And instead of these 3 grown people that's sitting on the platform say, you know what? It's a few people down there that are expressing the grievances. What do? They call them haters and then they block them. Unethical, unprofessional. And me witnessing that, it lets me know that all this time, the stuff that people have been saying, it's got to be some validity to it. Because an ethical business person that has a name and they stand behind their name and they stand behind their brand, when they're met with a grievance, they're going to meet it at the door. You go to McDonald's, you go through the drive-thru. See, I'm the worst person to throw a shot at. I'm the worst person to throw a shot at. Because I can destroy you either way. I'm from the ghetto and I'm educated. However you want, like, I'm the worst person. You go to McDonald's, you go through the drive-thru, you order a burger and a fry. You pay, they give you the burger and fry, you pull off a little bit, you go into the bag, the fries are cold, the burger's cold. You pull over into a parking space, you go in, you go to the front counter, you ask to speak to the manager comes to the front. I ordered this in the drive-thru, my burger and my fries are cold. The manager doesn't run to the back. They don't lock the door. They don't, somebody at the front want to ask to speak to the manager, he'll be like, well, go see what they want. No, they come to the front. Okay, Your burger and fry closed? Okay, would you like a refund? Or did you want me to give you a hot fry with the grease and make you a hot burger? That's proper business ethics. A consumer has a grievance. As an ethical businessman with a moral compass, you meet the grievance head on. And you work with the consumer to come up with some type of resolve, a resolution. I witnessed people in the chat complain about being taken advantage of. And instead of business people act like ethical business people, they block the people. Nobody, I witnessed it. Nobody was disrespectful. One person actually even acknowledged the host, said, hey, I have no problem with you. I appreciate you. I like what you're doing. But said individual on this panel took advantage and kept saying it over and over and over and over again. No malice, no disrespect. Very professional, but was very adamant with the grievance. The ethical thing to do would have been drop the link and invite them up. Because here's the thing. One thing I know, two things for certain. If a person bullshitting and you drop that link, if they bullshit, they're not going to come up. And if you're a person who has a brand and you stand behind your brand and you know you ain't did nothing wrong, you ain't got no reason to hide. I'm the wrong person you want to play games with and throw shots at. I'm, me, I can just, and then ultimately the live was taken down right after because there was too many people expressing grievances about being taken advantage of. There was another situation where a said individual, and this is advice, I'm not doing this because I'm not saying no names. Y'all might not even know who I'm talking about, but this is a great example of business ethics. And this live stream happened weeks ago. But this is a great example of not good business ethics. And some of you might know where I'm going with this. There was another situation on that live stream where an individual that was on the panel was talking about mentorship, and individual said, well, we do mentorship and we got mentees, but we not going to give you all the information, something to that effect, because we don't want you taking money out our pockets. Now, the taking money out our pockets, that was verbatim. So then someone challenged that, then what's the point of paying for mentorship? We paying for mentorship so that we can go around the learning curve. We paying you to know what you know so we can go around the learning curve. But you sitting here saying, well, we're going to charge you for mentorship, but we not going to give you all the sauce because we don't want you taking money out of our pocket. So a whole another debacle unfolded. Blocked. Because they were challenged. I've been challenged in my chat all the time. Well, not all the time. I get challenged from here to there. Not often, though. Because I don't do unethical things. One, I don't have a mentorship. And this is why I don't have a mentorship. One of the main reasons I don't have a mentorship, outside of the fact that I don't want to be bothered with people 24 hours a day. And two, one of the main reasons people do mentorships, I want to keep it all the way funky with you, because we all the way out here now. It's to supplement income. I don't need that to supplement my income. What do you think I could charge for a mentorship? I could charge upwards of $15,000 or more. All right. Outside the fact that I don't want to be bothered with people calling me 24 hours a day for stuff, I don't need the money. Three, there's been such a negative stigma placed on it, and not just in box trucking, just in all industries, period. This every week you got JT Pocket Watcher calling out this person. You got DJ Envy getting called out for the real estate thing. You got this. it's just a negative stigma on it. I don't want that negative stigma placed on me. So I see it as a negative stigma because even if I provide value, the consumer may not do the work that it takes to ultimately see success from what I've given them, and ultimately they're going to place the blame. I just rather not deal with it. Because, see, I don't know what the future holds for me. I may run for president of the United States one day. I may run for mayor of Chicago. I don't need no negative stigmas on me. See, it goes back to being a visionary thinker. This is something that a negative stigma is placed on that whole thing because so many people have gotten into different industries and taken advantage of people with these mentorship programs that mentorship just has a negative stigma on it altogether. And I don't want to be tied up with it at all because I don't know what the future holds. I'm thinking ahead, and I don't want any backlash from something that happened in the past if I decide to run for mayor of the city of Chicago. Not saying I'm going to run for mayor, but who knows what the future holds. So if I can prevent certain things, and the only barrier that's really, is money, I don't care. I'm straight. I'd rather just not do it. So that particular live stream that I'm talking about, these people were expressing grievances. They paid for mentorships or ebooks or something. One guy was over $1,000. Very, respectful the way he was presenting it. He was very adamant, and all he wanted was some type of resolution, and they blocked the guy. Completely unethical. Completely unethical. No moral compass. Just wrong. And watching that, I felt bad for those people. I'm not here to advocate for them. I'm holding the people accountable that acted in an unprofessional manner. All right? That shit wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. All right? So they in a circle right now. Now, guess what? To the people that was down in that chat, might as well just address this too, that were complaining, gotta put you in a circle too. You know why? Because during that time period, these people never lied about their tenure in the space. I can give them that much. They never lied and said they've been in the business 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years. They never said it. They told you. They've been documenting the journey. So if you come into the business in 2021 and they come into the business in 2021, or you come into the business in 2021 and they come into the business in 2020, why would you go spend an egregious amount of money with someone who came into the space at the same time as you, who knows just as much as you? What makes you think they know more than you? That you're going to go spend that type of money and get some type of value from them? You is tweaking. You get the tweaking button.
You tweaking.
I'm so sick of this shit with this mentorship and these. But that shit right there, that day, that shit did not set right with me sitting up there watching that shit. It didn't set right with me. It didn't set right with my spirit because I felt that shit was wrong. And it wasn't ethical. And I feel like there's validity to those people's claims because of the way they handle it. Because a stand-up person is going to meet a grievance at the door. If you solid and you say you are who you say you are, and you got a product, and then check this out. Mistakes happen. So let's say one of the people, and this is another thing of ethics. This is all ethics. So it ain't like I'm starting shit. I'm using it as an example, and I'm holding people accountable, and hopefully they take this as advice going forward. Mistakes happen. It was a busy time because I'm a reasonable person. So I look at it from a different way, right? That was a busy time. There was a lot of people coming to space. A lot of people was getting PPP. Said individual probably was getting hit with so many requests for mentorships, ebooks, whatever these people were buying that, or that person bought that they said they didn't get. Maybe because of the amount of volume of requests that were coming in, said individual may have just gotten looked over. It happens, right? But if you're charging and you're an honorable business person, right, with a moral compass, you see a person who is adamant in the chat, has a grievance and said, I bought something from this person and I didn't get it. Man, here go, drop the link. What's up? Yeah, my name is so and so and so. I purchased this and I never got it. What's your name? Now, if you're charging some person X amount of money and you're a good business person, you should have some type of checks and balances in order that you can go do some research, see if that person's name is there. What day did you say you got it? August 31st, 2021. Damn, you know what? I do see. Damn, we had 50 orders come in for mentorship that day or ebooks that day. In some way, you must have got lost in the shuffle. I apologize, man. I can either refund you in full right now. I can give you the product or the service. I can refund you half of the money and still give you the product and the service. I can refund you the money and still give you the product and the service. An ethical business person is going to meet that grievance at the door, right? And hold themselves accountable and come up with a resolution or resolve to whatever it is that person has a grievance about. And this is why I'm saying there's got to be some validity to it, because if an individual is a solid business person, they don't have nothing to worry about. A mistake could have happened. They could have just missed it, and the situation could have been resolved that way as well. It don't necessarily have to been a person's taking people's money with malice and just not, I'm just going to put this up, charge them, and not give them nothing. It don't necessarily have to be that. It could have just been an oversight. But if a person mentally knows they're a good-hearted person, knows that they're a person who has moral standard, has a moral compass, they're not going to run and hide. They're not going to block a person from expressing a grievance, saying that they bought something that they never received. You tell me you come on my website and it's an issue with my website, you bought something, you didn't receive it, or you booked a coaching session, rather, I should say, and I never called you, I never jumped on the Zoom, then I need to know. Because I'm going to go check my checks and balances. I'm going to check my credit card merchant account, see if money came in that day, see if it matches up with your name and your email address. And I'm going to see why my website is not connecting the scheduling with the payment so that I can fix it so it doesn't keep reoccurring, so I don't get these same emails and these same grievances again. I want to correct the issue. I'm going to hold myself accountable for this individual right here, but I also want to be proactive on correcting the issue so it doesn't happen to anybody else. That's what a good ethical business person would do. So that's my 2 cents on that. To those individuals, I didn't call your name out as a peer in the box truck content creation space. I'm disappointed. I think that was very unethical. I think it was wrong. Especially because those people down there, they weren't disrespectful. They weren't disrespectful. Especially the one guy that was real adamant. He was really adamant about that 1,300. So, the challenge as far as the mentor, you're a content creator. You're going to get challenged from time to time. If you are knowledgeable on your craft, when people challenge you, you can beat them up. Nobody really challenges me because they know my skill set. When people cower from challenges, it's because maybe your skill set isn't where it needs to be, maybe to charge what you're charging. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't, that shit didn't set right with me. I'm not saying this to create no beef or nothing. I'm really just holding accountable as I would want a person to hold me accountable if I got off my square and did something like that. I'm not no sucker, And I did this when it was. I just think this was a good point to kind of incorporate that into. I had to talk about ethical integrity, so I just thought it was the right time. That shit was 3 weeks ago, whatever, 4 weeks ago, and that shit. It was a good time for me to do it and incorporate it with this. So hopefully, they see this and they don't, you know, hold no grudges. And if they hold grudges, it is what it is. But hopefully they take it and they take the advice and next time when a grievance, because I've been in business longer than them. And I'm not saying this to shit on them, but I'm giving them advice. You know what I'm saying? You want to meet grievances head on. It's a sign of a good business person. When you run and you cower and you block people, it shows that you're guilty of something. It's not a good look. And there's going to be ignorant people who may see it your way because they don't understand business and they don't understand business ethics. But when a business people are witnessing that same shit, we can call it out. Just like I'm doing right now, and I can give you examples. I can support my claim with facts, and I can do compare and contrast. And I can articulate it in a way that the people who may have been ignorant, who sided with you and thought that those people were hating, are now looking at you like, you know what? Everything he said, he's right. That's why I say, don't mess with me. I'm the wrong person to play with. I don't mess with people. I don't steal people's content. Let me do my little content. Leave me alone. Keep me out the way. The only reason I did that is because a little shot was thrown at me about the government on that same live stream. And then I seen that shit, and that shit didn't sit right with me. Especially that one guy. That guy was really nice. He was really nice. He showed grace and gratitude to the host, but said, yo, please, this guy, so and so, blah, 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 blocked him. Blocked him. Like, damn. All right, bro. Hey, man. Hey, man. Somebody got to hold these people accountable, especially when you're charging people a lot of money. If I go into a store and I buy something and I get it home and it's broken and I take it back to the store and it ain't even been 3 hours and I actually speak to the manager and the manager says, hey, security, put them out and lock the door. That means they knew it was broken. I'm in Final Mile moving. Rob told you when he came on the show, man, a lot of claims, Mark would cover the claims. He wouldn't even charge us for the claims most of the time. You think I ran from customers? I can't run from the 3PL because they withholding 2-week settlements. They're going to take the money out anyway. But with the moving customers, hey, you had a crew here last week as a scratch on the floor. All right, we're going to send somebody out. It's a nick on the wall. All right, we're going to send somebody out. Man, a patch and paint ain't nothing. What am I running from a patch and paint for? Why am I going to run from a customer that we're doing a labor-intensive job where mistakes do happen, where, they understand they're coming to us with a grievance. I'm a professional business person. A patch and paint is going to cost me less than $100, and a person just paid me over $1,000. I'm still profitable. And then this person may move again next year, but I duck and dodge this person for a patch and paint and possibly throw away a good working relationship for years to come, plus the referrals. That's how I know there's validity to those people's claims. Because if your name is your name, and you are who you say you are, and if you him, see me, I know I'm him. Every time, the few times there was agreements, when Rod was in the chat that time, we resolved our shit online. We was going back and forth. What I do for those that watch, I dropped the link. Come on up. When Buddy Ass came in here talking crazy in the chat, I dropped the link. I meet my shit at the door. Ain't no running and hiding, because that shows some flaw in you. That's what we call flaw. You flogging. There's some cap somewhere in there. So that's why I think it's validity to that shit. So, hopefully they, take heed to this advice. This is just advice, man. I'm not trying to, that's why I ain't said no names and none of that shit. I want them to know who I'm talking about. And hopefully, they can take this as advice and do better. Straight up and down. And hold me accountable. If I do some goofy ass shit like that, hold me accountable too. I ain't gonna do no goofy ass shit like that. I was raised a certain type of way. I got morals and values, and I'm not gonna mistreat nobody. And then that goes back to what I said. I hate keep beating a dead horse. It could have been just an oversight. But that goes back to what I was saying anyway. Why would you run? Because it's just, if you are who you say you are and you do good business, it could have just been an oversight and that shit could have been corrected. All right, man. Continuous learning. Learning is a lifelong pursuit, and in the business world, it's no different. A good business man is a perpetual learner who seeks knowledge, stays updated on industry trends, and invests in personal and professional growth. The ability to adapt to new information and integrate it into business practices ensures that a business remains competitive and at the forefront of its field. I always talk about how, I'm always researching. Before I go on Instagram and scroll and look at the fat booty chicks, I'm looking at the news. I need to know what's going on. Do I need to move certain investments around? Even though I still got tenure and experience in the industry, I'm looking into what the new technology is. I'm constantly educating myself, just overall in business. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly sharpening my brain. I'm constantly staying ahead of things with any type of business, even content creation. I'm constantly researching this, trying to figure out ways to become a better presenter. Y'all know my mother is a retired Chicago public school teacher. Man, Mom, how should I present this lecture? How should I come up with a curriculum to present this topic? Picking her brain. Well, what are you talking about, Mark? I'm talking about this. Well, maybe you should do a slideshow. I wouldn't, go too in depth. Pull out the key points that you think that audience, can understand, because you don't want to go too deep and go over their head, and just maybe break it up in a module in parts. So I'm going to her to help me, educate me on how to present content in educational format. I'm always, learning and teaching myself so that I could be the best at whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't want to do half-ass nothing. If I can't do it 100%, then I'm not going to do it at all. I'm not getting C-class Benzes. I'm not getting E-class Benzes. I get S-class Benzes. If I can't go all the way, I'm not going at all. I don't drive 3 series BMWs, 5 series BMWs. If it's not a 7 series, then I don't want to do it at all. It's either all the way or it's nothing. Ain't no half-assing nothing. And that's why, I push myself to be the best. And in order to be the best, you got to constantly educate yourself. So, don't ever stop learning. This is how you ultimately control competitive advantage, by outsmarting and being smarter than your competition in whatever it is you do. Because people are lazy. When they have free time, they rather go do recreational stuff that's not going to benefit them financially. I don't have any free time. What may have been free time turns into an educational spiel of me trying to figure out a way to make more money and increase the revenue and whatever it is I got going on, make more money from that. Resorting back to that live stream the other day from Sunday. For those that didn't watch it, one of the best live streams I did. Can you afford to run your box truck business? Probably one of the best live streams I ever did. And I was sick. Flu game. That was a flu game live stream. In conclusion, the characteristics of a good business person or businessman, woman, extend far beyond profit margins, financial success. All right. A successful business person embodies visionary thinking. We talked about an innovative spirit, which you guys see I have and you need to have too. You need to be passionate about being an entrepreneur. If you're not passionate about being an entrepreneur, you might as well go get a job. People hate going to work for people. So you might as well hate going to work for 40 hours a week than hate doing your own business for 100 hours a week, because you're going to work way more than 40 hours when you're a business owner, especially at the beginning. So if you're going to hate everything, you might as well go hate something that you only got to hate for 40 hours. So you got to have an innovative spirit. You got to love what you're doing. You got to be strategic, have a strategic acumen, effective communication, resilience. We talked about. Good example of that was Jarrell from last night. Adaptability, being able to adapt. A lot of people were able to adapt that, came across my crosshairs that I was able to coach within the past year. Ethical integrity, which I just went on a whole rampage for about 30 minutes. Hopefully the people that I directed that to took that as advice from a good place instead of a beef. But however you want to take it, you could take it. It is what it is. But holding people accountable is not something that I don't, I hold my subscribers accountable. That's the culture that I've built and continue to build over here. And it comes from a place of love. But when I saw something that just didn't sit right with me, that shit just didn't sit right with me. It didn't sit right with my spirit. It didn't sit right with my heart. Shit was wrong. And I've had communication with these individuals. So that's my way of holding them accountable. Hopefully they take it as advice and not the other way. But whatever. And a hunger for continuous learning. These qualities collectively form the bedrock of a business person's journey towards excellence and ultimately contribute to the growth and prosperity, not just their own ventures, but also the global business community. All right. Business as a whole. As you embark, guys, on your journey, your entrepreneur path, remember that these characteristics are not just attributes, they are guiding principles that can elevate your journey to remarkable heights. And I know a lot of you guys are going to ultimately go to remarkable heights. You just got to implement everything that we talked about tonight and, keep on keeping on. And, you guys will ultimately see success. So hit the like button, guys. I guess I'll take a few questions. Damn, man, I just cooked for the last 45 minutes of this live too, man. I don't know, I've been on a roll lately, man. Ever since I got that cold the other day, man, it's just like, man, I don't know, man, what's going on around here? I was like Ike Turner playing options today in the market while doing runs, still currently running. That's what's up. Get that money. Shout out to Kirk in the building. What up, Kirk? What you on? What you on? Eric Rodriguez said, put up MJ numbers on that Sunday stream. Appreciate that. Jarrell says, called having a standard. Shout out to All City Transport in the building. Customers expected us to move furniture with our shoes off in Hawaii. Never take shoes off. That's a policy that I always put in place. No mesh booties, because OSHA standards when you're doing things like moving. I know the screen is frozen, but just if you can hear me, it'll unlock soon. You got to have some type of rubber grip for friction. So mesh, it interrupts that rubber grip, especially when you're carrying heavy things. I tell people to go get a mop. You know you have movers coming. It's raining. What do you want us to do? Like, nobody finna be getting soggy socks and all that goofball stuff. Shout out to all my movers in the building. Kevin Birch says trust is earned. Corey Jackson 100. Cody Willis said don't mess with Mark. Hey man, Mark comes in peace, but I think, like I said, I've had people in my DM in the past, ask me to call people, I expose people. That's just not what I do. You know what I'm saying? But I know how to articulate myself in a way that the message will get across, uh, and hopefully it's received, you know, uh, uh, the right way. I'm not gonna come and do distasteful stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that didn't sit right, and I'm just not the guy to, I know my strength. I know that if I speak, people will listen, and I just leave it like that. Uh, uh, Let me see here, man. I don't know why Thursday nights. I know some guy paid 2,500 and failed. Man, hey man. Mark, what's your Instagram? My Instagram is at the top. Mark _ the _ mentor _ let me see. It's humble to see. Let me see. Shout out. Let me see. All right. Yeah, Kirk just texted me. He want to mention a webinar, but I haven't put it together yet. I know he's got one about partials. I'm still on the fence. Since he's going to do his partial thing, I don't know if I might just let him do the partial thing, and I might just not do nothing. I don't know. I may put a webinar together. I may not. So, but make sure y'all look out for Kirk. Got a webinar coming up for partials. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Rich Exotic says, great channel. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I try my best to bring good content. You know what I mean? So I thank you for tuning in. Oh, I thought I saw something else. Big Slick. Oh, this trucking ain't no joke. Currently broke down on side of the road. Damn. 2 days in a row now. Man, you safe? You in a safe spot? Just got authority. Should I do OTR big and bulky? I can't make that decision for you. Whatever you feel is going to work best for you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best advice I can give you. If you decide to go the big bulky route, I can coach you. But ultimately, the decision on which way to go, that ultimately is up to you. I would research both so you know what you're getting into before you do it. What's the website that you can join? Boxtruckcourses.com. Taurine says, ever heard of Warp Logistics? I got a potential contract, but they looking shady. Never heard of them. I'm on, what time is it? It's 9:08. I've been on a little less than 2 hours. See a bunch of regulars in here, so I know it's probably not going to be a lot of questions. Appreciate y'all checking me out tonight. Drop the link. Anybody want to come up and holler at the kid for a second before we wrap it up? Now it's the time to do so. But there go the link. Big Zo said he wanna the second to last episode. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind whenever I decide how many episodes I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm just gonna do continuous. I don't know if I'm gonna do a season, but I got some other stuff that I'm working on that I may be reaching out to some people for as well. You know, that goes back to what I talked about earlier, strategy. Even the way I present content is very strategic. I look at the channel as an actual channel. I try to present real shows with real themes, not just coming on live talking or just dropping videos. You know what I'm saying? It's a channel. I'm trying to produce real content, use my mind, be creative, produce real content. So I got other shows coming up. Now pay attention. Pay attention. Remember who did it first. Now watch other people start formulative, uh, themed and structured shows. Just watch. Just watch. It's other things that I see I've done and people have followed behind. I was the first to get people to do thumbnails. Then right after, other people started getting people to do thumbnails. Like I see everything. Certain shit I don't really trip because it just lets me know that I'm a trendsetter in the space. And that's not me being cocky or me being arrogant. It's just me being honest. You have to, no, I know that I'm a trendsetter. Not only do I provide good value, uh, as far as the information that I provide, also the way I present content, I'm a trendsetter. You know what I'm saying? I'm always pushing the envelope to be better. And people watch the channel and they see me do something and they do it. And I see it. It's just be so obvious and shit, bro. Like I don't copy other people because I'm too busy setting trends. You know what I'm saying? I'm too busy setting trends. I'm creating real shows, box truck testimonials, the Wise Man podcast, the Rolling Commerce podcast. I got another show that I'm going to come out with on another night. I want to have at least damn near 7 nights of themed shows centered around business and box truck. Now watch, mark my words, watch other people start creating shows. But then again, maybe not because people too busy running their trucks. They ain't got the time like me. Marky Martin put his time in, created multiple streams of revenue. That Marky Mark got time. He got time. He don't got time, but he got time. If that, what I'm saying. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, so there go the link. You still doing the All Over the Place podcast? Nope, I'm not doing that. I did 2 episodes. It wasn't received well. So I decided not to waste my time. I don't think, me, I'm the type of person where, I can kind of look at something and see how it's perceived. And if it's not perceived well, I'm not gonna waste time. I know what my strengths are as far as my channel. I know what people come to me for. So I'm just gonna stick with what people come to me for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna push anything on anybody that, I don't have that audience for. I'm just gonna create different ways to present content for what people come to me for. I tried it, 2 episodes to test it out. It didn't work, so I moved on. I dropped the link. If anybody want to come up, you welcome to come up. If not, I do got some other things coming up that I would like to talk about, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because man, this is crazy, man. You got people stealing thumbnails, people stealing your ideas, people, watching you stream and then listening to you stream and going back trying to add little tidbits. See, Kirk do that partial. See, everybody trying to get that partial shit down. See, I don't gotta worry about like final mile. Ain't nobody like, cause it is what it is. You cut or you not cut. You gonna thug it out. You gonna carry this furniture, or you ain't. Not everybody is cut out for that. And a lot of the people that are in that space, and they ain't built like that. But when I hit my little, economy things, and just oh, I'll check this out. I'll do a whole trend of like lately. So boom. So like lately, like started like last month, I started coming with, and I do shit on purpose to see. I started coming with because everybody was all somber and sad and shit. So I basically was telling people like, man, stop that soft shit. Don't nobody want to hear all that complaining. You know what I'm saying? It's money out here. Go get it. I start coming with more aggressive content as far as telling people like, man, it's money out here. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Blah blah blah. So I watch content creators switch their whole, you know, the way they was presenting content at the time to come with my strategy. Yeah, it's money out here. Y'all just ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's money still in trucking and all that stuff. Like, man, further lets me know that I'm a trendsetter. Still got that 10,000 up too. That 10,000 still on the line. Or whatever person, anybody want to debate based around box trucking, business in general, that 10 grand still on the line, or whatever you willing to put up, we could put it up. Whatever you want to bet, we could bet it. So it is what it is. All right. Well, I dropped the link. It said partial is not for lazy people. I don't think no work is for lazy people, but I think I don't understand why people can't grasp the concept of it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people can't grasp the concept of it. So I guess I saw Kurt go on a tirade yesterday. I guess he feel like people still in his sauce, so I'm waiting to see Sunday because he said he's gonna do some calling people out, some comparing contrast. So I'm just kind of curious to see who he talking about because I don't know. He didn't tell me, so I don't know. So I'm just as curious as y'all. I want to be surprised because I ain't really been following that partial content because it's not my. I really don't be watching other people like that to begin with anyway. But if somebody drops something and tell me to take a look at it, then I may glance at it. But clearly, people watching my stuff though. I tell you that much. All right, don't nobody want to come up? Hit that like button. Make sure y'all guys tune in for box truck testimonials next week. Live stream next week. I got a new show coming up too that I'm working on. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is because I'm not gonna tell y'all until I, reveal it. Other than that, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. I'm about to pull extra tight on Buddy in his comments. What you talking about? I dropped the link. You don't see the link? It's right there. Hold on, man. Link right there. I dropped it 3 times already. Who you talking about? The thief? What thief you talking about? Hold on. Let me see. Yo. Hello? Oh, I guess he didn't want to come on. Who you talking about? D Walt? Oh, I think I know who you talking about. I think. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I think I know who you talking about. Man, it was a light night tonight. It was a light night. Nobody want to know about characteristics, huh? Well, they missed a good lie tonight. Hey, Mr. Good Live tonight. Talking about Buddy with the boxes taped to his wall. Oh, Buddy? Nah, none of this shit tonight I was talking about had nothing to do with Buddy. Man, I'm through with Buddy. This is some more these some heavy hitters that I was talking about tonight. These were some heavy, I guess some heavy, well, what people would consider heavy hitters in this space. Heavy hitters to y'all. Yo,
What's up, man?
what up? What up? What up?
Man, I'm over here at work, man. I'm telling you, I'm picking up a load from 5 o'clock today, and I'm still here. So,
Oh man, yeah. Man, I've been cooking, man. I
yeah.
was just cooking, man. Cooking,
I
just
see, I
cooking
see.
up.
I come on a little bit late, and I saw him like, man. But man. What I want to say is, a lot of people have to understand, like, you know, there's leaders and there's followers. You get what I'm saying? And so leaders are always going to be standing out. And I always say this, and I don't say it because I know you, because, you know what I mean? Me and you talking a regular, and I told you when it comes on to you, and, we share our own opinion, but I told you, even before you get to this part, I told you. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff that goes on YouTube, and people try to,
Mm-hmm.
flex and do a lot of shit and talk a lot of stuff. That's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I know you. I know the type of dude you are. You know me. You know the type of dude I am. I see who you are, not only as an individual but as a businessman, and I see how you treat people. You get what I'm saying? So I can
Mm-hmm.
vouch for you, and I know a couple of the people that watches your channel and meet you and stuff. They can vouch for you,
Mm-hmm.
and real recognize real. You know what I mean? So I just have one thing to say about certain things that you just say, and I don't think you talking about certain things will ever change certain people's mind. I think certain people mind already made up, and they're disconnect from moral compass and empathy, and they're so caught up into their agenda. Listen, Mark, there's a time and a place, and there's just some part in life where some people reach. It's like an
Mm-hmm.
addict. Let's say you're talking about let's say you look at an addict. An addict will get into multiple trouble with the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
The the system will try everything. They'll say, look, we're gonna lock you up. They do everything. Ultimately, that addict gonna end up on Skid Row and just live the rest of his life doing what addicts do. So I think when you're talking about people having more compass and take advice, it's gone too long, and I think it's gone too far to the point where it's like it become oblivious to some people. Here what's gonna happen. Here what's gonna happen. Somebody gonna have to get really serious and use the hammer real bad, and then people gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, now we gonna have to take a break. You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
I mean,
that's what you know what I mean? It's going to take something like that. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, if you play with the right person and they money, and you play with them in a time when they, desperate or destitute, and you never know how,
Yeah,
you never know who you may run into. You know what I'm saying? And they may get up with you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You can't mistreat people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I just, that day when I watched it, it just, that shit didn't sit right with me, man. Because that shit was, you know, it was wrong how they treated them. Yeah, they took the opportunity that they had while it was presented to them to express their grievance. And I just feel like a business person with some type of moral compass, some type of business ethics, if at least see if the person is capping or not, all you gotta do is drop the link. If they capping,
Right.
they not gonna come up.
Right.
You have to stand your ground and show that your product is superior. But
Right.
if you and I don't want to use the word coward, that's not the right word. If when a grievance is presented to you and you do something like block the person who's not even coming in a disrespectful or aggressive manner, they're just being very adamant about the situation, and you don't even try to find out why they're saying this, because it really could have just been a checks and balances situation where it might have been an oversight.
Right.
And that right there is why I think there's validity to it, and that's why it didn't set right with me, because these are people that are not younger. So take the business aspect from it. Take the wisdom from just being older individuals and have some type of moral compass just from being on this earth for so many years. That shit ain't right, bro. You know, I'm not fighting for the people. I put them in the
Right.
circle too. They goofy, straight up and down. You bought shit from people that got into this space at the same time you did. If I'm listen, if I'm
Hmm.
if I get arrested and I go to a law firm, right, and they say we got this lawyer who just passed the bar yesterday, he can represent you, or we got this lawyer who has been practicing law for 30 years. Which lawyer you think I'm gonna hire?
Right.
All right, so if you invest into a person who didn't lie, who's showing you their journey, they telling you they're being truthful about their time in the space, who's only been in the space just as long as you,
Right.
what do you expect? But that wasn't the case in this situation. These people are saying they spent money and didn't get shit. And the host is blocking them.
Right.
So it ain't about nobody. It's about how the people was treated. That shit didn't set right with me. And when I was putting this together and business ethics came, I never talked about that situation. I thought that was a good time for me to just let that shit get up off my chest and use that and incorporate it
Hmm.
in business ethics, because it was just a great example of what not to do. It was a great example of what not to do. If you are who you say you are, you have no reason. If I run any type of business and a consumer has a grievance with me, I'm going to meet the grievance head on and try to rectify and come to some sort of resolve. I'm not going to run and cower or lock the door on the person. That shit is
Yeah.
immature. Man, get the hell out of here, bro. So man.
Yeah, and I was listening you talking about the whole mentorship and said that there's a stereotype about around mentorship, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. You know what I mean? Because I do mentorship, and you know the type of mentorship. We talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been doing mentorship before I met you, and I've
Mm-hmm.
said this numerous times in my live stream. If anybody feel like I rip them off or feel like, because I talk about the same thing you just mentioned, but I even go a step further and said, if anybody feel like I rip them off, I'll drop the link right now and you come up. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've I've done collaboration with you, and I've never seen nobody come in the live or even drop in the comment section, hey Mark, that guy you're doing the live stream with on the Wise Man, he's a scammer. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cause I know you gonna get in it right away. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, see, one thing I'm not gonna align myself with, I'm never
Right,
gonna align myself with someone who has been called out for like any type of the listen. I've hired all type of people,
Mhm.
attempt murders, all type of felons. One thing I refuse to hire is a thief. I despise
Mhm.
thieves. I despise scammers. I despise thieves. I don't like them. Not gonna align with them. Not gonna associate with them because my name. Once you associate with this type of shit, you become them too. You are who you associate with. So if
Yeah.
a person that I'm associated with starts getting called out, then I have to remove myself from that, and then begin to question that person. And if I see some type of flaw in them, I'm going to continue to keep myself away from them. And even if I feel that person is being attacked and there's no merit, I'm going to tell that person to defend itself. Show what you got to show, but I can't. You know, I can't. I can't jeopardize my brand to be associated with that until that shit resolved. It may sound bodine, but at the end of the day, that's business. That ain't street shit. You see what I'm saying? My business is business, and it can't be associated with anything that may negatively affect it. You know what I'm saying? Any type of way. You know what I'm saying? So no one has ever said that, about you. And that's why, I know they say other things. People have said, man, Mark Sharp create content. I know people disagree with you as far as your stance
My
on
view.
certain your
Yeah,
viewpoint, your
certain
stance on
views and stuff like that. Right.
right, but things like that are just opinion, your opinions, and I don't really, when people tell me that I hear them out, but I'm not gonna make that type of decision based on a person opinions who's entitled to their opinions. I see me and you talk about. I see the views for the wise men versus the views when I go live by myself. We go live when the wise men be 50, maybe 60 people watching. I go live by myself. I can get 100 people, double the people. So I already know those people who don't necessarily maybe agree with you. They don't watch that show. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna not collaborate with a person who has his own opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, thievery and shit like that, then that's different. That's different. So,
Right. Yeah, I think mentorship, when people do mentorship and taking people money, I think that, like you said, there's gonna be people that you can't please, or just a misunderstanding, and whatever it is. You get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
But to block a person and then call the person you block a hater and all that type of stuff, um, and not deal with the issue, because here's the thing, that that type of stain is attached to you. You get what I'm saying? So if I was like I said, if I was taking people money, not giving them what they want,
mm-hmm,
and talking all that, that trash, and coming on the wise man and coming and hanging out with you, you know what I mean? And now people come over here and be like, Mark, this guy is a big time scammer from his channel, On Track Trucking. You know, he knows a lot of partial stuff, but he be ripping us off. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
And they can give some type of scenario about what happened between me and you, between me and them. Just like the guy said, I paid $1,300. Mark, I got respect for you, but I give Kirky Fresh, I give him 2 grand to teach me partial, but dude disappear me. You get what I'm saying? So I think when it comes down to people doing partial, I mean mentorship, I think that you have to understand that if you're not gonna give people what they pay for, don't take people money. And if you're gonna, like you said, if you're gonna stand by what you're selling, you gotta make sure that you give people what they're paying for. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yep. You got to. So, it's unfortunate, and like I said, I'm not an advocate for people who feel like they gotten taken advantage of. This is not that. This is just me
Yeah,
expressing something that I had on my chest for about 3 to 4 weeks now, however long it's been, and using it as a teaching point, incorporated as a teaching point for business ethics on what to and what not to do in that type of situation. Um, so I'm not an advocate for people who get taken advantage of. That's on you.
yeah,
So they have to hold themselves accountable as well. I'm not gonna never go fight for you because you feel like you got taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So you got to figure out a way. Listen, somebody ain't do that shit to me. I'm gonna get up with their ass one way or another. It ain't hard. Like if you really, you know, I'm not gonna put it out there on what to do. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nothing where I would incriminate myself. I'm not telling nobody to go hurt nobody. But, it's ways to go about shit. You know what I'm
right,
saying? If it was that serious, you would apply yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you would make that shit happen. But then again, I understand some people just that goes back to my middle America an analogy. Some people just ain't aggressive enough that they're gonna fight for they self. Me, you take my money like that, it's gonna be an issue. I'm not gonna stop until one, I get my money back, or two, I discredit you and I expose all the evidence that what I'm saying has some type of validity. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
it's ways so people won't fight for themselves. I'm not gonna fight for you because I'm not gonna put myself in a goofy situation. I hate to say it because it may sound cruel, it may sound mean, but I've been preaching this shit since last year. You know what I'm saying? I've been preaching this shit since last year. You know what I'm saying? You got to hold yourself accountable for shit that, that was just completely obvious. Listen, I'm not going to go buy something from somebody who started right when I started, or 3 months before me, or 6 months before me. What can they show and what can they tell me?
right,
Nothing. All right? Nothing. And like Five Star said, like, if your person is for that other situation that we're having, if a person's paying you an egregious amount of money for something, and then in that same breath you tell them, well, man, we're not going to give you everything so you could take money out of our pockets. You're the listen. Here's the me. You know why I can give so much information for free and not feel threatened? Even when I did the whole box truck content creation thing and gave people the saw, because people have been asking how to start creating content. You know how I can give them all that information and not feel threatened? Because I know who I am.
right,
I would never say if you feel threatened by somebody for something that you're charging for, then don't offer that service.
right.
Because if you're
Yeah,
offering a service to give them something to go around the learning curve, they're paying for what you know. But you're telling them, I'm not going to give you everything I know so you can take money. Then what's the man, I almost cussed. What is the purpose? What is the point?
right,
You just told on yourself. That
right.
shit just don't make sense to me, bro. Like, and I have so much respect, but that
No,
shit,
that's
that,
true
that
though.
shit
That's real
didn't,
talk.
this shit just didn't set right for me, bro.
Because
And that was
because
the minor situation, the money situation, how they treated Buddy with the man, that shit was bogus, bro. That shit
yeah,
was
but
bogus.
that's crazy because think about it. Think about it. If I'm selling mentorship and I got all these connections, right? And the purpose of me selling my mentorship is to get my mentees not only to understand what they're doing, but to make sure that when they pay me, they come out here and they can, recuperate back some of their money that they get. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Hmm.
share the information that I have, but I'm gonna put them in contact with some of the people that I've worked. This is why I talk about um carry a cosign. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Um uh uh um uh my man that watches your channel when I was giving out those 5 numbers the other night with Chase,
Mm.
he signed up with Brandy, one of the dude, because I spoke to Raul,
Mm-hmm.
and he to pull a load into Pennsylvania and get a load from Raul. And tomorrow is getting the next load from Raul. You get what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, I'm not threatened by that because I've been working with Raul so long that Raul gonna call me anyway. Even if
Mm-hmm.
this guy, he's gonna give out let's say Raul have a list of stuff he's gonna give out, and I reference 5 guys to Raul. You get what I'm saying? He's still gonna
Mm-hmm.
call me first, and then if I can't do it, he's gonna be like, "Well, what about your guys that you sent over?" You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So because you're the original main guy, you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
He's always gonna come to you. It's just natural that he's gonna come to you. Hey, Mark, I know you sent over 5 guy over T Force, but I know you got this account with your 1520 truck. Can you handle these new set of account, or you want me to just let these 5 guys? You get what I'm saying? But that just shows you the mindset of some people. And another thing I want to say about that too, Mark, you got to understand how some people look at money. You get what I'm saying? And what
Mm-hmm.
I mean by that is when you have real money, you don't feel threatened because some other people gonna come in and make their money that you think you're gonna lose. Cause my money in the trucking space where I'm at, no matter who come around me or what I'm doing, I'm still gonna make my kind of money. So I don't need to be threatened by those guys. You get what I'm saying? I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to be worried about giving a guy information and then turn around complain about not getting work. You get what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
think they don't. I think a lot of people who get threatened by those things, they haven't really get into. They don't ever really get. They don't reach that level as yet. They're still at that level where they're still trying to find out. You know. You know what I mean? What's really going on out here?
This is not good characteristics though of
Yeah, it's not good, car. Yeah, exactly. It's
a
not
good
good.
business. It's just
Yeah,
but it is what it is. So I
it is what it is.
this shit just didn't set right with me, and
Yeah, and buddy, and a matter of fact, the dude that called out, that made that statement, I know that guy. That that, but the guy, I know that guy. So you know what I mean. When I
mhm,
saw him, and a matter of fact, he been saying that. You know what I
mhm,
mean, because he was one of the first guy who shoot me an email. I still got it up to this day,
mhm,
and explain in the email the whole situation. You get what I'm saying? Because I went back and looked at my email, and he sent me the email and explained the whole situation of what goes down.
mhm,
You know what I mean? So,
mhm. Oh, so he
but
emailed you because I don't know if he was one of the people that messaged. I've gotten a few messages since I've been
email me.
on
Yeah,
YouTube for people who wanted me to advocate for them, for people that have taken advantage of them, and it's all
yeah,
centered
yeah. He
around a
emailed
few
me.
people. But I'm not no, I'm not Suge Knight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You got to
let
go
me let me
fight your
give you
own
a
battles.
snippet. Let me give you a snippet before. I'm not gonna go into too much details, but he was buying a truck. He wasn't renting a truck. He was buying, but he needed certain information.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And
Okay.
so he just end up, pay for certain information,
Hmm.
and he um just once he paid that money, he get like two. I think he get like 2 or 3 phone calls, and then that was it. And
What
then
was the
after he
money?
started to reach out, he
Hmm.
just they just stop answering. They just block him, or he was getting a lot of voicemail. He would send texts. He would send email. and they
Mm-hmm.
just block him. They just pretty much, you know, and they do a lot of people like that. A lot of people.
What was the nature of the money? The money that was spent. What was it being spent for? For phone calls, or for some type of mentorship, or some type of
Uh
coaching? Or
it was a coaching set. It was a coaching uh a coaching package.
mm-hmm.
You get what I'm
Coaching
saying?
package. Uh,
Yeah, it was a
so, well,
coaching package. Oh, and
how
part of,
many? Go ahead.
listen, the $300, the $1,000 in what I was understand was supposed to be for the coaching package, and the $300 was for the ebook. So he
Mm-hmm.
did get the ebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did receive
Mm-hmm.
the ebook with a phone call, but the
Mm-hmm.
coaching package never, the coaching part of it never came through. Now, I don't know if it was like, phone call coach, or I never get into the details of what that part was. But I know $300 because it was $1,300. If you go back, it was $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
And here's the thing. Let's say he did get it. Still, my stance is the same because the only thing that would have took was you met with a grievance, ethical thing to do, good business person met with a grievance, you
Hmm.
acknowledge that grievance, you hear that consumer out, you go through your checks and balances. You know what? You did receive this. Here's the email transmission that we sent you this that day, and you received a call here, a call there, and a call there, and you had whatever 3 1 hour sessions. The point that I'm trying to make is the professional way to handle that was still consumers
Right,
making a complaint. You meet the complaint head on, and you address the issue, whether you were at fault or they were at fault. You know, if you're a good stand-up business person and you're being challenged on a public platform, you know what I'm saying? Your response is, oh, it's a hater, and block them. You don't
right,
know. You might have just overlooked. It might have been an oversight. That shit was
right,
just very unprofessional from people who are of age, I should say.
right,
You know, without giving too much information away. It just was not. It's not professional. The few times that I've been challenged, not for nothing like that, but for information. When Rob came up, obviously we resolved our situation. But when he was in the chat, I dropped a link. When Buddy
yeah,
came up in the chat that day, when we was doing our Wiseman thing, when we had guests on, in the middle
hmm,
of the thing, disrupted it. What was the first thing I did? I dropped that link.
hmm,
I'm meeting whatever at the door. Ain't no flaw, no flodge, none of that. Whatever you got to say, come on, let's get to it. Because I know who I
yeah,
am. So whatever you want to do, let's do it. Get it on out the way. Dust this shit up real quick and get you up out the way. Because I know
yeah,
ain't no thought, ain't no man. Did I? Maybe I did. Screw. Ain't no none of that.
yeah.
Drop the link. Let's go. What's up? And that's it. And then
You
that's
owe
it.
me. You owe me $1,000.
Everybody will never say that. And the few times that the mother probably tried to troll, you drop the link, they don't come up. So it is
Right,
all they had to do was drop the link. See, what happens is you drop that
right,
link and it's some flaw when you and the person come up and get to exposing how you mistreated them. That's gonna open up the door to give other people the courage that probably are in that boat. It's just like, let's say, the Me Too era. Take one woman to come out and say, "Oh, Russell Simmons raped me 30 years
hmm,
ago." Next thing you know, here they come out the woodwork.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So a person in that situation will probably just avoid the situation, so you don't want to open up Pandora's box. So you
yeah.
know you know.
But that's not gonna go away though. That's the problem. That's
It
never
ain't.
gonna go away.
That's my point. That's my point. In order for it to go away, and here's the thing: if you got a negative stigma on you, that's not true, the best way to get rid of it is meet it at the door and address it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I don't
Yeah.
understand is
Yeah.
how you got a young person who I can understand the lack of, and this ain't got shit to do with business, just the lack of wisdom when it comes to a moral compass. And then you got older people around you
Mm-hmm.
who don't cuff you like that and say, yo, you know, you don't want to move like this. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong, man. That's not becoming of a
Yeah.
it's not becoming of a it's not becoming of a young business professional. Like, to be around somebody and be older who I know you got some type of knowledge, common sense. I've spoken to both these people. They not, you know, I think they were raised with some type of, you know, respect. They from a different generation to sit by idle and not, you know, check a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at other people, then you got people that's riding with you who ignorant, who just don't know no better. But then it take a person like me who can just sit here and articulate the right way to have people open up their eyes and then look at them like, you know what? That shit makes sense. Cause ain't no way on God's green earth, man. No, no. But see,
Yeah, I know.
I
I
don't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I know if this shit was going on your channel and I was a part of you, I know you
I,
gonna be at, I know you ain't gonna go for that. You get what I'm saying?
excuse me.
And you gonna be like, man, we gotta clean this up. You know what I mean? But see, I don't have to worry about, see, one thing with me, like I said, man, and I can say it on your channel, and I said it on my channel, I build my reputation and do what I do and show what I do on my channel. My most of my income is not
Mm-hmm.
from YouTube. It's from really running my business and running other people trucks and showing people, you know what I mean, how they make money in the trucking business. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so if I'm moving around trucks at any given time, I don't have to come on YouTube. And this is just from the first day I came on YouTube, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
people who watches me know, people will disagree with me and like you said with the views and all of that stuff. But one thing they'll tell you, your boy Kirky Fresh will never steal nobody money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit on your panel and give away stuff last year. We give people back. We give people money. We give people that stuff. We don't take people money. We give people money. We give people free consultation and give people free stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think when it comes down to looking at people and just looking at you know that moral compass that you're talking about, a lot of people are not. I think a lot of people are not aware, or they're so far off that nothing you say and nothing you do is really gonna. They gone too far because even even the two older people that sit there, like if they can't see that something wrong, like every time I go live by myself, I'm good. You get what I'm saying? But the moment I collaborate with someone, something is wrong, then we gotta fix that. You know what I mean? So I think this whole dodging and ducking, um, but hey, like I said, if that's how you wanna put yourself out there, then don't come on the internet and complain when people call you out. Because that's your name. That's gonna attach with you until you fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not being a scammer. I'm not being called a scammer because I don't know how to scam. I don't know what. I don't know how to scam, Mark. I don't know the first part of scamming. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? I know to charge people, and when I take their money, I give them what they pay for. I don't know how to take people money and avoid them phone calls, email. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't know to
Mm-hmm.
do that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I need to take a course on scamming because I don't need. I don't know.
Nah,
I've
nah, you
never
don't want
done
to
it.
do that.
I don't. I've never done it, and I have no intention of doing it. So
You don't want to be a scammer because you're gonna constantly have to look over your shoulders. You got
exactly.
kids, and then you scam the wrong person. I could tell you, but there's a lot of scammers here. They get got up with. They get got up
Hmm.
with, and it's always in places where they least expect. They can't go nowhere without looking over their shoulders. They can't
Yep.
drive. No, they can't drop their kids off at school because they don't. They can't be around their kids because they might run into a person that they got over or got down on. And when they catch them now, man, listen. You heard about how they
Yep.
got up with Buddy here last year. As soon as he got bonded out to jail, they shot him 65 times in front of the jail. They didn't even want
Yeah.
him to hit the block. That's how cold it is here. They slid on some ops last week and shot up the funeral, killed him, and then went and shot up his mama in them at the funeral
Yeah.
home. So, you can't play around with people because you never know who you playing with and how they get up with you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
nah, scamming, that's no, you don't want to play them type of games. You don't want to play with people, and
Yeah.
then people think because they play with people on the internet that they can't get up with them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that shit ain't hard either. You just gotta know the right
Yep.
people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And know how to move. So I wouldn't suggest anybody take advantage of people uh as far as, taking advantage of them, especially for money that they may have worked hard for. You know what I'm saying? You take,
Yeah.
you play with the wrong person, you take their money, they may be willing to crash out nowadays. People be on this, you know,
Yep.
people to crash out. So, it is what it is. So,
Yeah. Yeah. There's a guy from Jamaica that scammed people from Montego Bay,
mm-hmm,
and he flew to Miami, and they tracked him down while he was at the fish market with his girlfriend, and and
mm-hmm,
and shot him right there, broad daylight.
mm-hmm,
See what I'm saying? So you're right, man. Just leave people and their money alone. If somebody buys something, give them what they purchase, or don't sell them at all. And you know, if you're not gonna give people what they ask you for, just don't do it. It doesn't worth it. It doesn't worth the name calling. It doesn't worth the brand that you're gonna get. It doesn't worth the way people gonna look at you. And I get it. Some people, they're not gonna take heed to what we're saying because again, they're so far gone that they thought that they're always gonna be in the right. So, you gotta just, I can sleep good at night. You know what I mean? And I
mm-hmm,
I don't have to worry about, people calling me out on my live stream when I go live and worry about me. People say I take their money and don't give them what they deserve. You know what I mean? I don't ever have to worry about that. And any day anybody ever come across that will say that, whether it's on my channel or your channel,
mm-hmm,
I'ma tell you, don't even hesitate to drop the link. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna deal with
mm-hmm,
that right there. And you know what I mean? Because I got a reputation. You know what I mean? And I'm a face the guy, and I'm the guy with the armor. So it's gonna be business. You know what I mean? So and I'm gonna say this to you, man. Whether it's on a live or behind the scene, it doesn't matter. If
mm-hmm.
somebody send you an email and say, "Yeah, this guy Kirk, man, took my money," yeah, you call me and say, "Man, I just got an email." Don't be hesitate, because
No,
we're
I mean,
gonna
I,
we're gonna
I I
take
don't
care
think
of
nobody
business.
would say that
You know what I
about you.
mean?
And if it did, it probably would have been just an oversight. But
Right?
either way, mistakes happen, and
Yeah.
honest
It
business
is what
people,
it is.
they address issues. They don't run from them. That shows signs of whatever these claims that are being presented, they may have some
Hmm.
validity to them. But it is what it is, man. I just, it was
Yeah,
just a good opportunity for me to get that off my chest because it was really not. It just didn't set right with me, and like I said, man, this ain't like a diss or anything like that because I didn't say any names. I was very vague. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That the actual evidence is nowhere online for people to go because it was taken down. So, I know they watch, so this is for them and hopefully they take it as advice, and
yep,
not, in a negative way, but either way I'm well versed for however, a person want to take it. I can handle it. And I'm
yep.
just gonna move. I'm ready to move forward. So, man, I appreciate you for stopping by, Kurt. I'm finna end this live though.
Yeah, man. Shout out to your boy DeWalt, man. He said that I sound like an 80-year-old person tonight. You know, DeWalt is he's one of the FBA gang. He always get at me.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Yeah,
Shout out,
yeah,
shout out to DeWalt, man. I haven't
yeah.
seen Joseph in a while. I haven't seen Joseph in a while. That's DeWalt cousin.
He probably be on here. He probably just don't say nothing. So a lot of people ain't in the
Yeah,
box truck space no more. So they don't really.
yeah,
It's
yeah. And
people.
Dragonfly.
Dragonfly was in here last night. He was
Oh,
in the.
what
He was
happened
in the
to
live.
what's the other guy name? Um, he's a part of the FBA too.
Oh,
What's my man name? It's the Wall, Dragonfly, Joseph. Uh, what was his name? I forgot his name, but he be
mm,
there. But
mm.
shout out to everybody, man. But yeah, Mark, I'm over here waiting on the load, man. I hit you up tomorrow.
All right, man.
All right, peace out.
Later. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I will see you guys next week. Make sure if you didn't hit that like button on your way out. I'm out. Peace.